Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I'm going to have to turn the light off in just a moment, okay? So let's discuss this movie, Sight. What a sight. Sight. Ming. What's the movie about, you might be wondering? Well, I'll tell you. It's about surgeries on eyeballs, and it's quite a good movie. Angel Studios, from the people that brought you Jim Caviezel and Sound of Freedom last summer. And then they did some other movie, which I saw, but I can't remember what the hell it was. And now we have Sight, based on true events. Gentleman, I believe he's from Mandarin, China. Is that right? There's a lot of countries in the world where, like, does this country recognize that country as a country and so forth? So I hope I'm not making an error. However, the gentleman, from a tough upbringing, we see the political 1970s uprising in China, which I did not know much about. Seems pretty scary. This kid really bonded with his folks, his parents, his mother and father, because they're basically kind of beat up and tortured. Unfortunately, his mother is severely abused by these so-called revolutionaries. Young Meng has to learn how to pass high school in like 3 weeks so he can go to college. He studies his ass off. He becomes a doctor like he always dreamed in the good old US of A, helping people see things, helping them get their sight back. There's one young lady, however, he cannot help, and that's a sad story too. This young girl who's, I'm trying to remember what country she was in. I saw the movie last night, by the way. I try to do these movie reviews right away, but this just didn't happen last night. And this young girl has her eyes fucking sprinkled or poured into with sulfuric sulfur or whatever the fuck, blinded by her stepmother. It's always the stepmothers you gotta look out for, folks, who blinds the poor girl. So she's blind, and why would she do such a thing? Because the theory is that blind beggars get more money from tourists. Unbelievable. So this movie, I mean, there's some sadness here. There's also a bit of romance. Our buddy Meng is the doctor. He has a little heart-on there for the beautiful bartender lady. Whoever that actress was quite exquisite. Spoiler, they end up married. So we got Greg Kinnear as the white guy, as the friend. I think I could do that role. He's like the supportive guy who kind of, he's the liaison of like the regular world, the regular schmuck world with the science world to Meng, the miracle worker. All these things. We have all these other cases, and basically the movie, the science of it all is using placenta meat or placenta juice or placenta syrup or whatever the fuck it is to help people see things again, because the placenta does not allow for scarring. So it's all quite wonderful, but I like the movie. What the fuck can I tell you? It'll bring a tear to your eye. You'll be like, oh, gee whiz. You know, I mean, all these things, folks. I mean, look, there are some people in this world like myself, like Dr. Meng, that are just chosen for a higher calling. Him to save people's eyesight, me to open your mind like a flower. So I thought this movie was good, okay? Thought it was really good, actually. It's dramatic. And I'm not sure who the actor who played Ming was, but he was very sturdy. It's interesting because they showed the real-life Dr. Ming after the movie, and he seemed a little more avant-garde, or what can I say, flight to fancy. But this Ming guy was kind of, the actor played him as a solid as a rock, no-nonsense type, hardly having fun in life. But you got to give up to Ming's parents, too, because, I mean, God, these people went through absolute hell. I mean, it's just amazing, folks. If you happen to be an American, and I've noticed I have a lot of fine followers here from India and other wonderful places in the world. We may never meet in person, but I shake your hand virtually. All my Indian friends and everyone else in the world, I do appreciate you checking in from time to time, or all the time, whatever you're doing. There's so many thousands of videos, literally thousands of videos between this channel, one Mike Messier, one artist Mike Messier, if you want to see my wonderful abstract artwork, probably the best channel because I don't talk on it. And then you have one pro wrestling and sports fan for the pro wrestling and sports fans. Then you actually have one man in the camera films for my wonderful films, okay? And Messier Mantra, my TV show, my interview show, all these wonderful things. Messier Peace Theater on one man in the camera films. My bag on openings, the Temu bag. Temu came through with this nice headgear of this dragon. But getting back to our buddy there, Meng, Dr. Meng, I like the movie. I mean, this is the type of movie you can't really argue with. You're talking about children, for crying out loud. That's the one thing I'll say this, folks. These Angel Studios, I mean, they're really going out of their way to advocate for children. And I'll say this, I think it's really hard to make a movie that talks about some of these things like child abuse. You know, whether it's the abductions in the movie from last summer, which I still don't understand how people shat on that movie. Oh, the guy exaggerated. Well, welcome to fucking reality, folks. It's the movie business, not the business. You have to have a little creative flair in these things. So the point is, how can people do such horrible things to children? Pouring sulfuric acid in the child's eyes so that she can be a better beggar? Christ. But if you're experiencing these things, I mean, that's why if you're a good old American Joe like myself, if you happen to live in, you know, Hacksaw Duggan, USA, you have to be really thankful. And some of the other countries in the world, Finland, I hear, is nice this time of year. Let's not kid ourselves, folks. If you happen to be an American, you kind of have won the lottery fucking ticket. And it's things like this movie, Sight, which reminds us of these blessings, okay? So yes, we can still protest and we can still hashtag each other into oblivion, but let's not forget, folks, 99.99% of the people would love to have our fucking American problems. Oh my God, they lowered the size of my Big Mac from 1988, and now it's $1.55 more from 3 years ago. Well, God, fuck. You know what I mean? We have these issues, yes. But, you know, what the fuck? Other people are out there, they're getting bombed, they're getting killed, they're getting sulfuric acid poured in their eyeballs from their evil stepmother. All these things that we don't have to deal with, yet we find a way to bitch because we have to fucking watch Monday Night Football on Amazon Prime on a Monday night, okay? So us Americans, you know, not to shit on the good old US of A or our citizenship, but we do tend to fucking make fucking deals. We're all like little Larry Davids and Jerry Seinfelds in our minds. We all have these neuroses, and we all, you know, think the world gives a fuck about our Instagram post when they don't, you know, because people are dealing with real life problems, you know what I mean? That's why I get so upset with my wrestling fan brethren and sisterin when they go on fucking social media and they're complaining that Becky Lynch hasn't re-signed her contract, and oh my goodness, what's the world going to happen if Becky Lynch doesn't wrestle for a fucking week? Well, guess what? The world will keep spinning, assholes, because it always does. The world won't miss you, folks. It really won't. So anyway, that's it. I liked the movie Sight. I thought it was good. If you saw it, if you didn't, leave a comment or don't. It's free will, folks. Free will. What day is it? It's Wednesday. Tomorrow will be Thursday. I kind of wish there was more days in the week. Like, I kind of feel like, could we make a 10-day week? You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, there's not enough hours in the day. It's not the hours in the day. It's the amount of days in the week. We need a fucking 10-day week. I like that. So they would really be smart, actually. If you had a 10-day week, you could have just 3 weeks a month. And then you could have like perfectly 30-day months, fucking 3 10-day weeks. I like this. So then how many, if we had 12 months, maybe we should make it 13 months. So we've got 13 10-day weeks. What's 13? What the fuck? So you got 13 months of 3 weeks each, of 10 days each. So 13 times 3 is 39, times 10 is 390 days a fucking year. Okay, let's remodel that. Let's go back to 12 months. So we've got 10 days a week, 3 weeks, so we get 30, times 12 is 360. And what do we have now? 364 days a year? I kind of like that 360 thing, because 360 is like if you go around in a circle, you come right back to where you fucking started. So you could have like this goddamn... You could have this fucking... This is how great things happen. You have this like pie, right? And this is how we could have a new calendar. Instead of a calendar that flips, right, from page 1 to page end, 12 months on a calendar, you just have like a circle. And then you have, again, you have 12 months. We'll stick with that. And then you have 3 10-day weeks. And you get a perfect number of 360. Because 10 fucking days in a week, 3 weeks in a fucking month, and then I'm better than Dr. Goddamn Ming, because I'm changing time. I'm changing the fucking calendar for the first time ever. So we have our 10-day week, our 3-week month, 12 months a year. We'll stick with that. And you have 360 wonderful days in a fucking year, which, just like if you're going around the circle, like you could have a giant fucking circle as your calendar, and every little denomination, every degree brings you closer back to January 1st, where you started from. Holy fuck. And you can see like your progress as you're going around the circle of the year. And then the circle goes around for another year and another. So I like it, folks. I have just reinvented time. I have reinvented the Greek Gregorian calendar, or whatever the fuck. We are no longer a 7-day-a-week society. We are, from here on in, I declare as myself, me and Dr. Men have established that there's now a 10-day week and 3 weeks a month, and we all have 1 week a month off. So you work, well, wait. Yeah, okay. So you all have 1 week, you work full time, okay, for fucking 2 weeks in a row, and then you get a whole week off every fucking month. And then you divide society into, based on your last name, is when you get your week off. So not everybody's taking the time off at the same time. Isn't this exciting? And then if couples marry, then whatever the fuck, then they have to take on they have to join each other in their time off, or whatever the fuck. I think it's ingenious. I have just recreated time in my own image. We have a 7-day week. We have a 3-week month. We have 12 months a year. We have 360 degrees around our circular calendar, which brings us back to where we started from. It is ingenious. It must be because of the power of this dragon bandana, or whatever the fuck I'm putting on my head. It's so soft and comfortable. It really is like better than a fucking hat. Because with a hat, you can't see my wonderful face. But with this thing that I put on my fucking head, I'm so comfy. I can cover my goddamn ears like a pothead. I can cover my head from the sweltering sun. Whatever the fuck. So anyway, I just reinvented time. I feel so good about it. And God, I'm just getting started. It's only fucking Wednesday. And I've already recreated time as we know it. I've created the 10-day week, the 3-week month, the 12-month year, the 360-degree calendar that brings you back to where you started from. My God, am I good. That's it, folks. It's your buddy Mike Messier. If you enjoy the fact that I've just recreated time in my own image, I've just changed all the calendars. I've created the 10-day week, the 3-week month. And look how tired I am. And yet I'm inventing, I'm creating things. What have you done with your day? MikeMessier.com. Buy my books. Subscribe to all my channels. And